Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I am speaking with Travis. He has a ton of new music out. I want to talk about all of it, but first I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be here. How
Of
are you
course.
doing today?
I'm really, really good. I'm super excited to be here and talk about my music with you, and I'm ready to get started. So
Nice. Well,
take it
I'm
away.
super happy to have you. Really, it means a
Awesome.
lot. Good music deserves to be talked about, so I'm
Exactly.
thrilled
Cannot
you're here. Well, normally I would start off with asking you about your newest song, what it's about, but honestly, you have a ton of new music out, so it
so
kind
much.
of it kind
I
of
know.
just spans everything.
I
So
know.
I'm gonna throw it to you, but I'm gonna ask in a general sense.
Okay.
As far as your music goes,
Yeah.
what is it about? Does it have a general sentiment? Is there
It
an
does
overarching message between everything?
for
Like,
sure.
tell me.
For sure. So when I like to talk about my music and kind of how to piece everything together, all of it has a lot of similarity with each song and how I write and how I like to sing, in each of my songs. But I kind of derive my music from like the early 2000s and the late 90s because for me, that's a period of music that not only do I resonate with, but I just have so much fun writing that style of music and being a part of that type of music.
Oh yeah,
And obviously, my music is kind of about like teen angst, high school drama,
sure.
being in relationships that don't work. And it's this back and forth kind of, BS of does she like me? Does she not? She broke my heart, this and that, and fake relationships and that. Because a lot of the relationships I've been in Los Angeles, specifically, I've been through a lot of those experiences. And for me, I've been in situations where, the girl doesn't like me back or she is using me for whatever reason it is. And it's kind of, an on and on repetition of the same cycle over and over again. And I wanted to put that into my music. I wanted to write about, okay, being in high school, all the drama, you're not fully mature yet. You don't really understand what's going on, but you have this rebellious kind of behavior and you kind of don't give a shit. Essentially, you're kind of just like, whatever happens,
Yeah,
happens. I just want to have fun. So I love writing really sad, kind of demoralizing lyrics in my music, but in a very
sure.
upbeat, catchy way. So I
Yes,
like to
I fully
like the
got
lyrics,
that.
you kind of break it down is like, oh shit, that's kind of like depressing. But when you really dive into it and listen to the song, it's like very catchy and super chorusy and hooky and
Right.
loud and super loud drums. And I like to bring that sad element, but in a happy, energetic way when I write my music.
Totally. Honestly, that's exactly what I took from it
Yeah.
because it's some of my favorite types of music. If you
Yeah.
can
Right.
blend the sad and the happy, it
Mm-hmm.
kind of polarizes two people because as you know, not everyone is taking the time to listen to your lyrics.
No,
So many
not at
people
all.
just listen to music for the way that it makes them feel. But
Exactly.
but for the small minority of people that actually listen to what you're saying, they're gonna get a laugh out of it, knowing that you've kind of gone in opposite directions, and
Exactly.
it's just like, yeah, that's the best. Um,
Exactly.
and you
For
found that
sure.
that's similar messaging in all the music that you put out so far.
Essentially, yes. I mean, my next single, Just a Mess, which, we'll talk about that later, but
Yeah,
that song is another version of like, a chaotic nightmare is what I like to call that song because it's such a very anthemy chorus. When you
sure.
listen, you're like, oh my God, that's a reminiscing song of Blink 182. Like,
Yeah,
it has that same type of tonnage. I'm not in any way trying to replicate anything they do. I get a lot of inspiration from
no,
Blink.
of
They're a
course
band,
not.
I look up to as like the fathers of pop punk. I mean, incredible. They're iconic. They're legendary. Same with Green Day. I take a lot of inspiration from these bands
Sure.
that, on a daily basis. And I try and not replicate it, but make my own sort of formation and way into that music and kind of, put my own individualism into that type of style of music. And this song, Just a Mess, is just so catchy and so hooky and has the same type of lyric structure, but it's way more like upbeat in the sense that the lyrics aren't as depressing. They're kind of more energetic and happy in a way.
Sure. No, really, that's what it's all about right
For
there.
sure.
I
Yeah.
think that's sort of become a testament of pop punk in its own. One thing that I really enjoyed about your music is that, yes, you're definitely pulling from your inspirations and influences, but who doesn't? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
100%.
there's
100%.
thousands and thousands of songs that are released every single day. No one is original anymore,
Yep.
but you have to put your own flair into it, which is
Have to.
exactly what you're doing. And it
100%.
and it actually I'm thankful you brought that up. It brings me to my next thing here. So I
Good.
listened to all of your music, and like
Okay.
I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it because I
Yeah,
grew up on pop punk. Like
for sure.
it's what I still listen to today. But you've
Mhm.
brought such a modern feel to it. It is the perfect amount of
Totally.
nostalgic, oldish sounds with the future of what we think pop punk is going.
100%.
So So I want to hear from you after just blowing up your ego. I
Yeah.
want to hear from you. What is like the elevator pitch for your music? If you had to explain it to someone that had not yet listened to it, how would you word it?
That's a good, very, very good question. When you talk about a modern twist on my music, it's definitely not the first to say that. Obviously, with modern day production and the level of intricacy that producers have at this level now
Right.
compared to the '90s is on a whole nother level.
Oh, it's
So
two
the
different
thing
worlds. Yeah.
inside the studio, on a computer and on software apps and all that stuff is unbelievable. So we try and add that element to the music to give, because pop punk isn't everyone's style of music. Everyone, when they think of pop punk, is like, oh, the '90s, the early 2000s, MTV Cribs,
Sure.
old music videos with VHS cameras and stuff like that, handheld handycam video cameras, and they think of like this old like 20-year-old thing. But I like to take exactly that style, and even aesthetically on my Instagram, and you can see like the way I take my photos. I use a lot of film. I use a lot of like the way I dress aesthetically. I like to bring that kind of '90s 2000s vibe to my image. But yeah, the modern twist on it's a very I don't try and do that. I think it ends up becoming that way because I want to have my own style of pop punk music,
Yeah.
my the way I like to perceive it. And you add like the different distortions and the high quality production on the vocals and the different types of instruments used in my music. But if I had to give an elevator pitch on kind of someone that doesn't even know what pop punk is to listen to my music, I would say pretend you're in high school. You are not to say you're bullied, but you have a lot of people that don't like you and you don't know what to do and
Yeah.
you're confused in life. You have a lot of, hurdles that you want to go through. And you want to listen to a song that not only resonates with what you've experienced with relationships and people that are fake to you and this and that, but a song that can only hype you up and get you super happy and energetic and get you in that rage mode of just kind of nodding your head and dancing around and jumping around in your room and not giving a fuck, basically.
I mean,
So that's kind of
that's
the type of music I want,
yeah,
I feel like nowadays when you go to a concert, everyone's holding their phone up. And I don't want to be,
it's true.
again, that's cool to get videos, but I don't want to be an artist that, everyone just wants the video. I want people
Yeah,
to be in the moment when they're at my concerts and be,
totally.
I'm gonna put my phone
Right.
away and listen to this because this is so like a throwback and it's
Yeah.
so anthemy and it's so fun to be in. I want people to experience my music through energy.
Yeah. You want people at your show scared of losing their phones because people are
Exactly.
moving around so much.
Exactly.
Like if
100%.
you have your phone up in there, there's a very good chance it's going to get knocked
Yeah.
out by people
100%.
just going back and forth.
Exactly. No, that's
That's my favorite
explain
kind of show. I love
so
it. Honestly,
100%.
fantastic answer.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
well, I also want to look forward a little bit because your music does have obviously a similar feeling, which is
Yeah, of
purposeful. But going
course.
forward, do you have any plans of experimentation? I still feel like you're very early on
100%.
in your career.
I spoke with my manager.
Yeah.
Shout out Mark Letterman, and I call him MJ. He's like my uncle,
Sure.
my brother.
Got
Literally
it.
could not do anything without him. He's brought me to a level, that I only dreamed of. I started music damn near a year ago, not even a year
Nice.
ago. So I've only been a year into this. We have 3 music videos, 6 songs, about to be 7, and another music video. And then all summer, my band and I are playing live all through LA, the Whiskey, the Troubadour, the Roxy, the Viper Room.
Awesome.
We're going to play all the venues for like 2 or 3 months straight, twice a week. So we're going crazy on live shows, hopefully book a couple festivals for next year.
Yeah.
That's the goal. But yeah, man, I mean, I can't wait. I'm so looking forward to everything. And for me, it's kind of like a dream situation come true. Like obviously nothing trumps hard work. And
Ah,
every single day I work on my vocals 2 or 3 hours a day. I do everything in my power I can. Even if it's like you feel like things are going slow or the month nothing's really progressing, you got to stay focused. And for me, it's
yeah.
like, what can I do today to better myself as a musician and better my craft and my creativity? And that's whether it's booking a photo shoot or whether it's writing more music every day
Mhm.
or talking to my producer on what I want to add to a certain song. That's kind of the name of the game for me, is just maintain consistency and just keep going at it. Because at the end of the day, every musician that I look up to, the thing that they say and that's all similar with them is, dude, it may take 3 or 4 years, dude, but you got to work your absolute hardest. You got to outwork everybody. And I know
Oh
that's
yeah.
cliche and everybody says that, but from what
It's
I've noticed in just
yeah.
a year, what I'm doing, the opportunities that I've succumbed to is incredible. Like I never in a million years would have thought, I would have been on an editorial playlist. I'd be in a band and play live all summer in Los Angeles.
Right.
Crazy.
I
Like
get it, man. I mean,
it's
listen, as
fun.
an independent artist, the only mindset you can have is the one that you have.
Exactly.
There is no half-assing it anymore.
No, not
There
as
isn't
yeah,
just
exactly.
one single that
Yep.
manages to get on the radio. No, it's literally a nonstop competition between, I mean, thousands and thousands of
1,000,
like-minded, talented individuals. How can you stand out?
100%.
That's what it's all about. I love it.
100%. Yep.
Nice.
Exactly my so.
Well, considering that you've been hard at this for a year, obviously the hard work is paying off. But
Mhm.
diving a little bit more into your process as a musician and I guess creator, how
For
has it
sure.
changed? Like, what are some things that you've
Oh,
learned from a year ago that you're like,
tell
what
you.
was I thinking? What was I
Yeah,
doing?
100%. So getting into this it was last April of 2022. I was a creator on TikTok. I
Okay.
accumulated around 650,000 followers, which at the time I was like, whoa, like you have 650,000 people looking at you every day. I mean, it's kind of crazy. And it wasn't for music purposes. It was kind of like this TikTok
Terrifying.
posting videos. I didn't even know what I was doing in these videos. And it was
Sure.
kind of just like a fuck around, I don't even care type of vibe.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to use the leverage that I've built on social media. I had around 60 something K on Instagram, which, for me growing up in Manhattan Beach as a surfer skater kid, not having social media through high school, not really giving a shit. I was like, damn, like this is weird. I don't even know what to do in this situation. But I was
Sure.
like, I've always loved music. Since I was 5 years old, I would open up for my uncle's band and play covers of Billy Idol and Generation X and the Ramones to like 200 people in the pub.
Awesome.
So I always loved music and punk rock. My dad brought punk rock on me when I was like 2 years old, and I would jam out to, the Misfits and the Clash and the Sex Pistols and all those old punk bands from the 70s and 80s. But
Good parenting right there.
exactly, my dad's
Absolutely.
business, and he
Yeah.
kind of was like, this is the music that I'm going to enforce on you,
Yes.
not bullshit Kesha stuff from 2008,
Sure.
which I respect, of course, not throwing
Yeah.
shade on
There's a
him,
time
but
and a place, but
exactly, for
you're
sure. But I
raised
was
on the
grown
good
up
stuff.
100%. So, flash forward to last year, I was like, what, I want to start music, whether it goes my way or I succeed in it, doesn't matter. I want to put my maximum effort into it and see where it goes. And, I would write songs every single day for 5 months straight. Like,
Sure.
I'm not even kidding. I have an archive of like 300 songs plus. Like,
Okay.
some of
Yeah.
them I don't even know if I'll ever get to. And some of them I still have sitting that I want to get to with my production team. I have a studio session next Sunday or Saturday, I believe. We're
Nice.
going to knock out 5 or 6 more songs in the studio. But yeah, I just would write and write and write, find YouTube beats online that were pop punk style, and just write over those and practice
Awesome.
that. And then I hit up, my uncle. I like to call him my uncle. He's not really, but I hit up MJ and I was like, hey, I wrote all these songs. Like, let's hit in the studio if you want to try something out. He's like, let's do it. So we booked a couple sessions. They went really well. He was like, dude, these are super catchy tracks. Like, let's see if we
Yeah.
can get these mixed and mastered and like take this on. Like, let's try this thing. I was like, let's go. I'm all in. I love music, and why not want to try and do something that I love? So we just went crazy from April to all the way until October of 2022, basically 6 or 7 months straight of just being in the studio, recording music, mixing and mastering all the tracks,
Sure.
talking about stuff, getting in the studio, writing new music, writing sessions, all that stuff. And we just progressively kept doing that and releasing music over the summer. And dude, that's kind of the name of the game. It kind of all
I mean,
wishy-washy for me
honestly,
because,
sounds like you just hit the ground running. Like there
dude,
was
that's
no there
exactly.
was no ramp up. It just immediately was like,
Yep.
we gotta go. Like we're gonna do
100%.
this. Let's just do it. I love that. Okay, well
Dude, that's
then no, this is perfect because now that you're sort of coming up on your next year, the question becomes, and I still consider us very much at the beginning of this year.
sure.
What does this year look like? Obviously, you've got so much in the bank.
Yep.
What are some, I guess, lofty goals that you'd like to hit? Some
Oh,
things that you would like to definitively see happen?
okay. So for me, very easy question to answer. I think about this time and time every single day. What
Awesome.
do I want to do, and what's my goals for this year and for the future of my
Yes, it's
music?
you have to consider it.
Okay, so I'm, as cliche as it sounds, I'm not doing this music to try and be. I want to be Machine Gun Kelly and sell arenas. Yes, that's my goal. I would love to do that, 100%. But
Yeah,
basically, like,
I wouldn't go that route, but yeah,
no,
go.
my route is I love this genre so much. I want to be kind of a curator for pop punk because I know I can already notice that this genre of music is coming back. Like there's
Of course.
festivals left and right in Europe and England and freaking all over the world and Brazil. Pop punk festivals, rock festivals are on an explosion right now. I can't even believe
Always.
there are. So my goal essentially as an artist is I don't even care about the fame, like not even for a little bit. I just want to travel the world, experience every single country that I possibly can, and just play my music for people that love this music. And I want to travel and experience that and go on tour and play festivals and play venues and play iconic venues all over the US and England and Britain and all those amazing places and just play for people that love this genre of music. Like that's my goal.
Yeah.
Whether I make a shit ton of money, I don't care. I just want to be able to play this genre of music for everybody that loves it and you know and see where my music takes me. It's kind of just like that's my goal, and whatever path it kind of goes in, I'm 100% willing to go down that route. And I'm kind of not like this is the exact thing that I want to do. I just want to be able to travel the world and experience everything and play my music for people that love the genre of music. That's kind of my goal.
It's not too much to ask. It's really
no. I think it's totally doable. I mean, it sounds even for like an artist a year into it, but like I already, you know, I have a band that's incredible, and shout out Don, Jersey, and Alex. They are incredible, so talented. They rehearse 2 to 3 times every week, and you know, we're gonna take this summer by storm and see where that takes us, and try and travel and play as much music as we can. That's kind of my goal.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's the hardest part as an independent musician is you have to take it day by day because you're always trying to move the needle forward, but at the same time, you have to have a long-term outlook.
100%.
So it's this balance of I don't want to plan, but I don't want to plan too much, but I have to have something planned.
Exactly.
And the fact that you already have a summer plan in terms of shows and this and that, like I'm excited because if you're in LA,
to my show.
that means you're 20 minutes away, which means I will
literally.
Be there. If I'm here, I will be there.
I know. I can't wait.
I have a couple more questions for you.
Awesome. Anything.
And you've kind of touched on it already, but are there, you know, like formal releases? I'm sure that you have some sort of record on the way. I don't know what you want to talk about or not talk about.
You mean releases coming up?
Releases, but like obviously in the music industry, we're very much single focused. So have you ever thought about putting something complete together and being
I can talk about that.
Yeah.
So for me, yes, I've spoken with my team. And we definitely agree that the route is singles right now because I don't have, you know, an immense fan base right now, and I'm just getting started in this entire process. Like, point of putting out an album doesn't really make too much sense right now because yes, I want to perform, I want to play as many live shows, build that fan base, build that audience, and then once you know I get out on the road and people start, you know, getting we start building a little bit of notoriety in the pop punk world and the scene. For sure, an album is on the table because it would make more sense. Right now, it's singles game. But I will say this: I have spoken to my manager, and we are thinking about, you know, this summer definitely releasing an EP, like a 5 or 6 EP, a total just pop punk chaotic.
The sound of the summer. You got it. Yeah, something.
Exactly. No, 100%. So we have enough music already for that, 100%. And I will talk about Just a Mess. So we are scheduled to release that probably around May. We're shooting a music video for that on April 15th with the crew called Found Format. Shout out to them, Kyle Cadow and his team, Stephen Cleveland. They shoot a lot of videos for Kenny Hoopla, Magnolia Park, a lot of big pop punk artists. And they're flying out from Wisconsin to shoot our video on April. So we're super excited. It's going to be the dope, super cool video, fisheye lenses. Like it's going to be super cool and band scenes. But yeah, as far as music goes, dude, we're gonna keep hammering out singles into the summer, and then like I said, this summer we're thinking about. I'm pushing for it. I definitely would love a 5-song, 6-song EP.
Sure.
I have so many awesome little catchy songs I want to throw in there, a couple ballads as well, just to complete that little. You know, I definitely think that'd be fun going into the summers to release something like that. So that's definitely on the table, and we have the music for it. So it's a matter of just piecing that together and just saying, screw it, let's go for it and do it.
Sweet. Well, whatever happens, it just means more music is on the way. And that's
exactly. No, tons of music. Never slowing the process down. So
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Travis, my last question for you here is it's basically for the person that is going to discover you from this. What is an opening message that you'd like to say to them before they listen to your music for the first time?
That's a good question. I would say to the fan that's never heard my music or let alone heard of me before is that, you know, I like to just distinguish myself as something that likes to put in a category of like, this is a throwback music. If you like something that is going to make you super happy, nod your head back and forth in the car and you can crank that shit up at full volume and have a great time. That's the type of music I like to translate to my audience. And again, I'm a pop punk artist, alternative, whatever you want to call it. I feel like there's not enough people at my age right now trying to bring this type of music essentially back to life from where it was in 2009, 2010, where
Agree.
Fall Out Boy was kind of the last band that ended it off. But I just want people to have a great time listening to my music, and whether or not you like the genre of music, it's kind of it doesn't even, it's irrelevant, because I write stuff that's very hooky and chorus oriented. So if you like to nod your head and yell in the car and learn music super quickly and learn lyrics super quickly because they're that catchy, in my opinion, then that's the type of music that I make. And I hope people would love to listen to that. And I'm a visual artist as well. So if you like to see like the really cool music videos, that whole vibe of aesthetic, like I feel like I bring that to the table, and I will continue to bring that to the table. And I just want people to look at that type of music and be like, dude, that's sick. Like that's all you need to say is that's sick. Like
Boom.
that's the I want to orient to my fans. So
Awesome. Great answer. Great conversation. Travis, I want to
cool.
thank you so much for taking the
Yeah,
time
and of
here
course,
today.
anytime. I had an amazing
Um,
conversation with you, and it was awesome.
Totally. Well, once again, I urge everyone to check out Travis's music. We will have the links in our articles so that you can listen and share and follow along and do all that fun stuff. But it also sounds like there's a ton more on the way. So obviously now is the time to pay attention because,
Yeah,
why not?
100%.
Awesome. Thank
100%.
you so much again. I hope you have a
Yeah, no
great rest of
worries.
your day, and I hope to speak soon.
We will for sure. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Take care,
All
man.
right,
Bye
take
bye.
care.